This is Dream Power Radio, the place where your dreams turn into reality. Here is your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Hello, and welcome to Dream Power Radio. I'm your host, certified dream life coach, Debbie Spector-Weissman. This is the place where we talk about dreams, both daytime and nighttime dreams, and how you can use them to make the eternal shift to a life you love and rediscover the truth of who you really are. How much time do you spend thinking about energy? If you're like most people, I bet the answer is not much. But after today's episode, you might change your mind about that. See, as any student of quantum physics will tell you, everything around us is energy, and we are all energetic beings. Most of us never pay attention to it because we can't see it, hear it, taste it, smell it, or touch it. Sometimes we can feel it, but even then we still don't know what to do with it. So what can energy mean to us? Why bother thinking about it at all? Well, when we understand how energy can work, it gives us the opportunity to make it work for us. And one of the ways it can do that is with energetic narratives called sacred invocations. What are they? What do they do? I've called in an expert, Billie Topa Tate, who has worked with energy for most of her life, and she'll explain the power behind these tools of wisdom. Billie is a third-generation Mescalero Apache Medicine Woman, whose mission is to help those seeking spiritual growth and wellness. She's also the author of the book, Spirit Guide Invocations, Seeking Wisdom from Sacred Helpers, that shows how energy can cross time and space to support anyone in their own sacred journey. Welcome to Dream Power Radio, Billie.
Thank you so very much, Debbie. It's a pleasure and an honor to be on your wonderful show. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to having you explain energy to us. Well, Billie, it seems almost impossible that something invisible like energy can manifest powerful transformations in a person's life. But you do say that energy can be harnessed through the use of invocations. So can you explain what is an invocation and how does it work for our greater good?
Well, that's a beautiful question. And as a Native American, we have a lot of wonderful training on the energetic narratives called invocations. And it's part of my training to really understand that words are energy carriers. They carry energy. They can carry good medicine for us, for enlightenment, inspiration, and healing, or they can carry energy that is blocking our purpose and also our happiness and wellness. So the preliminary stages of our training is that this philosophy, this wonderful principle of energy that infuses words, carry that energy from the energy world into our world. And so energetic narratives are virtuous invocations that call on the assistance from our energy resources. And our energy resources include our spirit helpers, personal guides, personal angels, spirit guides, the archangels, virtuous teachers in spirit, divine helpers, spirit totem, actually our higher self, our wisdom self, and sometimes even our family members who are on the other side willing to help us. And the book really kind of talks a little bit about, at the preliminary stages of the book, really speaks about energy is a mechanism by which it recreates itself in different qualities of energy, depending upon our focused intention and whether we do it intentionally or unintentionally. As a medicine woman, we're taught to intentionally use energy as a focused platform to manifest possibly something that would resolve a issue, a block, an obstacle for ourselves and others. And we used it in the beginning as medicine women. And it's in the book that we use a particular, what is called enlightened language to communicate with our spirit guides, to ask them questions about our travel or our well-being, or to really learn futuristic types of qualities that we did not have in our aura, so that we can gain insight to guide the tribe as we travel across the desert.
Hey, well, let me just stop you there and ask you about this. How do we access these divine healers, these angels and carriers of wisdom? If we're not in the habit of doing that all the time, how do we start?
So I remember when I was going through my training with my grandfather, and I saw him do many wonderful things. And I said, "Grandfather, I would really love to learn how to do those things." And he turned to me and he said, "The beginning of all training and knowledge starts with an expressed desire. And you have expressed a desire to learn. And now the word that you're going to use is to invoke, to understand and to want to receive training respective to that." So the term invoke generally means to summon into action or bring into existence, often as if by magic. And I define the word invoke as a powerful, focused intention to connect with the more subtle energy realm where angels and divine helpers and virtuous teachers in spirit, totem animals and spirit guides reside. A sacred invocation is an energetic tool that was gifted to humans from the Great Spirit to materialize a platform by which wisdom and healing energies can be given to us. And the energy of time and the energy of words are divinely and uniquely intertwined. Energy, when we focus upon it, feels the quality of the focus and responds. And that is very much even at the atomic level, if you think about, the science that we were exposed to in school.
Well, I tell you, when I first started studying dream work, one of the things that I was able to realize is that I could call upon guides in my dreams. Do you use dreams in that sense as well?
Yes, definitely. In our training, we are taught that dreams were a gift from the Creator, so that when our physical body goes into maintenance and repair, our consciousness does not require that. It goes into more subtle planes of existence, which we call dreams. But the dreams, as the Creator told us, was gifted to us so that our energy and our consciousness, our spirit, can go into the energy world to receive answers, to resolve things, to create and understand our life's purpose. And if you think about it, people will say things like, "Well, I'm a little upset about this, but when I go to sleep, I'm sure I'm going to have a different perspective." Or maybe say things like, "I'm going to go to sleep and I'm not really happy with this person I just spoke to, but possibly I could resolve that in dream time." And even Einstein did not come up with the speed of light formula until he went to sleep. When he woke up, he said, "I have the formula." And it was a wonderful transformation because from that time on, Einstein, when he needed answers, he would go into the sleep time to connect with his higher self. And Edgar Cayce did that too. We all have that capability.
Oh, we certainly do. And there are countless examples of famous people who have used their dreams to either invent things or create art, music, books, all kinds of things. So we all know about that. In terms of finding our angels in our dreams, I understand that you have had conversations with your angels. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, yes. Well, to this very day, I could not do my work without all these wonderful helpers. I remember when I first started my work, I took 10% of the credit for what I do. But today, and for the past maybe 15 years, I say I take 2% of the credit for what I do, because all of my wonderful helpers, they have provided me with great insights. And I have worked with approximately 155,000 angels, and they all do wonderful different things, just like we do.
Wait, stop. How many angels?
Yeah, 155,000 angels. They're just incredible. They're very knowledgeable. They're very ethereal. They cross the span of time and space to help us. And I often asked, why are they helping us? And my grandfather said that there is this principle that is very much a part of their life's purpose, their existence. And that is to help us on the earth to evolve. So when we invoke for them, when we ask for them to come, they cross the span of time and space to help in any way they can for one purpose. And that purpose is to help us to evolve. And that is the Creator's wish. And they are the Creator's helpers. So that's a top priority for them.
Oh, I would think so. And are these angels specifically your angels, or do they help multiple people?
They help multiple people depending upon what it is that they need. So there are personal angels that people have. They also have guides and also sometimes ancestors who want to help them that have learned so much on the other side and come back to help family members. They all work together. And the angels that I make reference to, 155,000 of them, they have specialized qualities, just like we do. We might step into this world and do a lot of things. However, we might gravitate to specific things and become very, very good at them. And that's just like angels. Angels do that as well. So why do angels and guides help us? Well, in the realm of the universe as well as our own personal energy field, we are pure light, and they are the essence of pure light. And they want very much for us to be happy, to be in wellness, and to really step into our evolution in such a powerful way. And I remember my teacher told me when I was about 12 years old, he said, Billie, cats have kittens, dogs have puppies, God has godlets. That's you. That's everyone on the planet. And we are learning how to use our wonderful energy. And we start to realize that we are conduits of energy and that we can invoke for qualities of energy to flow through us at any time. So we start to understand the basic energy formulas and transform things as we start to move forward in our evolution.
Okay, well, we are going to talk more about energy and get deeper into the actual invocations themselves, but we're going to take a short break now. We're speaking about energy and invocations with Billie Topa Tate, and we'll be right back.
What do Thomas Jefferson, Elias Howe, and Paul McCartney have in common? They all understood the value of dreams, and as a result, the ideas, inventions, and creations from their dreams affect us to this day. What great ideas are you leaving on your pillow at night? Sign up for a complimentary consultation at my website, thedreamcoach.net, and discover why your dreams are a terrible thing to waste.
Welcome back to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Yes, welcome back to Dream Power Radio. I'm your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman, and we're talking about invocations with Billie Topa Tate. Well, Billie, I want to now talk specifically about the actual invocations themselves. You talked a bit before earlier about enlightened language. How does that play into the construction of the invocation?
The aspect of enlightened language is something that I observed our elders, our medicine people, utilizing when they reached out to speak to their teachers in spirit. And I was just wonderfully enthralled by the interactions and the wisdom that would be gained by that. And what I mean by enlightened language, if you think about it, sometimes we're just talking about things during the course of the day. We call that in Apache, it means just ordinary conversation. And then when we talk about things that are sacred or talk about things that are in the more ethereal, enlightened aspect of our conversation, we call that speaking of sacred things. And there's an energetic difference between those two particular situations. And what I observed is that when my elders and also the medicine women and medicine men would speak to their angels, their guides, their spirit helpers, their conversation and the vibration of their words were more about resolving or healing something and stepping forward and saying, I do not know everything, but I know that you have some great insights about this situation that could help resolve it or allow it to heal or allow it to establish some platform of resolution that is empowering and sacred. So we would use this enlightened language to be able to establish that conversation, and we would learn so very much.
When a person is about to say an invocation, is there any kind of preparation the person has to do beforehand to make it more effective?
That's a very good question. I'm going to talk about a ceremony that we do in the tradition of the Apache Nation. It's called the Start Over ceremony. The Start Over ceremony really starts at the beginning of the first Mercury retrograde. And as you know, we sit in a circle because we believe the circle is the circle of life and the circle of the Creator. And during the beginning of the ceremony, what transpires is we start with a set intention. And the intention is that we go inward. And we are taught at a very young age that when we close our eyes, we are in the energy world. And so we close our eyes and we take a moment of what we call sacred balanced breath. So our breath gets connected to the water, to the sky, to the mountains, to the trees. We send blessings to all of the kingdoms on the planet, especially the plant kingdom. And the reason why we do that is, number one, it adjusts our vibration. It adjusts the vibration of the mind. It develops a platform of a landscape where your mind can develop a place where you can gain much wisdom. And this connection that we have, especially with the plant kingdom, is important because they have never, ever lost their connection with the Creator and these wonderful helpers that are not only here to help us, but also to support their wonderful kingdoms. My grandfather used to say that the plant kingdom is so special. It has so much medicine for us. It provides us with food, with medicine, and even spiritual qualities like smudging or essential oils. We cannot live without them. And the interesting part is they can certainly live without us. They don't need us. And I asked grandfather, why are they helping us so wonderfully? And he said, because they extend their hand out to us in hopes that one day they would realize we are extended family and they're our brothers and sisters. And so when we connect with the trees, the water, the air, the mountains, these are all kingdoms that support us, but we are also related. And when we breathe, we reset our breaths, and that breath goes into what is called sacred balance. When we are in sacred balance, we are preparing ourselves to receive great information that our ego and personality could never have. It just doesn't have that capability yet.
What you just said about the plants is just so eye-opening for somebody like me who certainly didn't grow up with any kind of tradition like that. I mean, of course, you respect life, but plants have something to give us other than, looking pretty or if it's a food plant to eat, but that can actually have wisdom for us is a very new concept to take in.
Yeah, the plant kingdom, I'm a medicine woman, so I work with the plants all the time, and they always are sharing information about how to help someone. And it's just a remarkable, that kingdom and all the kingdoms are remarkable, but they do have a lot of knowledge to share.
Yeah, when you were talking about the start over ceremony, you were talking about some breathing that you were doing. Is this what you referred to as the 7 invisible breaths?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, the 7 invisible breaths are in the book, and it's so wonderful because it allows us to prepare for a place that is wonderful in our mind, body, and spirit that will give us a lot of wonderful insights. And you always know when you're in that place because the answers you receive really lights up every cell of your being as absolutely appropriate and correct.
I'll tell you, Billie, when I talk with people about different techniques and things that they do, I always like to ask about examples because I'm kind of a practical person at heart. Tell me how it works. But in the book, you do tell the story of how an invocation helped your sister heal. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, the Creator has given us the gift of time. And most of the time, what we feel is that we're just moving forward with time. We're going somewhere, we're going to an appointment, we're setting the intention for the day. In the tradition of the indigenous people, we were taught that time was a gift that we could retrieve information from the past, from the present, and also the future. So my sister called me one day, and I was just starting with my practice outside of the arena of the family. And I did not know a lot of the things that I know now. She had told me that she had pancreatic cancer and liver cancer, and she needed my help. And what I did is, of course, I opened my heart and said, of course, I will do everything I can within my power to assist you. When I got off the phone, I sat in meditation because I didn't really know a lot about oncology, cancer at that time. And I sat in meditation and I asked my guides, I really, really need to help my sister. She has a little boy and it's so important for her to receive as much wellness as possible. And so I was in my stillness and I heard a beautiful voice say, isn't it interesting? Most people say, I wish I knew now what I'm going to know then. And I said to myself, well, that's a very interesting thing to say. And I sat in meditation and I realized what they were saying. And I took a deep breath and I said, by the power of my good merits, I invoke to know what I'm going to know about cancer 10 years from now. And whatever I know about cancer and how to resolve it 10 years from now, I summon it here. I bring it to me now. And what transpired when I said that is all of a sudden, I started having lots of thoughts, wisdom, insights, techniques, tools to help her that I retrieved from the future 10 years from now to me at this moment. So I wrote it all down and I talked to my sister about it. We applied those principles, beliefs, techniques. And when she went to the doctor, he said, I cannot find any cancer tumor markers in your blood. They're gone. And yes, and it was remarkable. And they only gave her 3 months and she lived a lot longer than that.
Wow, that is so incredible to hear. And it just shows the power that we have within ourselves when we can access so many things that we don't really believe we could access.
I learned so much. I really did. And I wrote it down. I actually taught those techniques to the Cancer Treatment Center of America, to their staff, and also to their practitioners, and many, many other places.
Oh, what a gift that is, for sure. Is there any subject that can't be affected by an invocation?
Anything that needs evolution and resolution, these wonderful angels, our guides, and our higher self can provide resolution to. I have never found anything that could not be resolved. I remember when I provided this book to my publisher, and it was really kind of sweet because one of them said, I read the book and I did one of those invocations and it worked. And I smiled and said, would be very bad karma of me if I wrote a book that did not work. It's not a good idea for anything. And so my role in this book was to help people all over the world to have techniques and understandings and training to access this information and resolution platform, and that it wasn't restricted to just a small amount of people that received the training in our indigenous world. So that was my goal.
I see, for sure. One of the things that you do provide in the book, I think you even call it a cookbook, which is a variety of info for many different kinds of subjects, everything from healing to abundance to better understanding of things. And one of the ones that jumped out at me when I looked at it, because it was kind of relevant to me, was the one about healing a neighborhood. Fortunately, there's been, without going into any detail, there's been some disturbance in my little neighborhood. And I said, well, I'm going to try this. I'm going to see what happens when I do this. And I have to admit that I've just said it. I haven't said it very much for a very long time. So I'm going to give it some time to work. But even in the invocation, it talks about healing the disturbances that have gone on for 50 years. And that's probably about as long as there's been some kind of trouble. So I'm thinking, I'm going to give it some time. But I thought, wow, if there's anything that could help heal us, let's go for it.
Yeah, the wonderful thing about the invocation on cleansing our neighborhood is that it's very powerful because there's so many things that are poured into our neighborhoods. All the people that live there are depositing their emotions, but also there's a history of the land as well that needs harmony and peace as well. So I wrote that because I used it on the neighborhood. I have my wellness center, and it was a pretty bad neighborhood when we first started. And everyone comments on how beautiful the energy feels in this neighborhood. And you can use it for your neighbors, your next door neighbors. You can use it for the world. And that's the intention, is to understand that we can and have the right to and have sovereignty over the space. So I encourage it for everyone.
Yes. Billie, did you always feel that you were meant to be a healer?
When I came into this world, I watched my father when he was doing energy work on this a small infant, one of those car chairs. And I saw him, beautiful energy flowing through his hands, and he was just moving them from the top of the head to the feet. And this child went into a great peace. And I looked at him and I said, I want to do that. I want to generate that kind of energy into the world. It's very inspiring to do. So, I learned at a very young age, that's what I wanted to do.
How lucky we are for you doing that. Billie, how can people find out more about you and your book and your work?
Thank you so very much. Well, the book we sell it on our website, msi-healing.com, but they can also purchase it on Audible or Barnes & Noble, and they can also ask for it in different kinds of stores. But I have a center, a wellness center in Evanston, Illinois, which is, our phone number is 847-866-0505. And our website is msi-healing.com. We also are on Facebook, and it's a wellness center. So there's lots of ways. And of course, we have a lot of YouTubes as well, as I've done that free for everybody on the planet. And we really look forward to hearing from everyone.
Well, Billie, thank you so much for being on Dream Power Radio today.
Thank you very much, Debbie. It was a pleasure and an honor. Thank you very much for all the wonderful work that you do, and many blessings to you as well.
Oh, thank you for that. We've been speaking about invocations with Billie Topa Tate. I hope you've enjoyed today's program. If so, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Until next time, This is Debbie Spector-Weissman saying, sweet dreams, everybody.
You've been listening to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman. For more information on Debbie or to sign up for her newsletter, go to dreampowerradio.com. This has been Dream Power Radio.